Kale Caesar was kind of one of those things that was really popular in like 2015. And I know it's 2018 now, but we're just gonna do it anyway because it is pretty good. Don't you love Caesar salad? Does everybody love? I think everybody loves Caesar salad. I don't actually know anyone who doesn't love it. So we're gonna make it. Okay, so Caesar salad. You can make it with any green you want. I chose kale. It's kind of, you know, we live in Victoria, BC, which is where everybody eats a lot of kale. So I'm just doing that. But romaine is the classic, of course. I also love doing like bitter greens, Italian greens like radicchio and escarole and stuff like that. Just something hearty. The worst thing in the world is Caesar salad dressing on those like wimpy little spring mix greens. Don't do it. It's the worst. That needs like a nice light something or other, but not Caesar dressing. It needs to be on something that's really like sturdy. So the dressing's really easy. We just need to remember 1, 1, 1. So that's 100 mils of oil, neutral oil like vegetable oil, 1 egg yolk, 1 lemon, even though we might not use the whole thing, so that's kind of not quite accurate, but you know what I mean. 1 tablespoon-ish of anchovy paste, but I've got some tinned anchovies, so I'm just going to use about 3, which is the equivalent. 1 garlic clove, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. So, and then there's a couple things that you can add, you know, just to taste, like pepper and Dijon mustard. So I'm going to start with the anchovies. Because I have whole anchovies, not anchovy paste, I have to mush them up first. So just grab them out of the tin with this fork. I looked at the paste today, but it was like $1 more for the same amount. And that's just not my style. I like to get the best deal. So that's about 3. I'm going to go a little heavy on them. I love these things. So 3 anchovies. So you just take a fork and mush them up. They mush up pretty quickly. So there are lots of recipes out there for Caesar salad that says anchovies are optional. And sure, that's fine. I just don't, I think that it actually is so important to the flavor. Like, it doesn't taste like Caesar salad if it doesn't have anchovies in it. If you really didn't want to, I would at least substitute them with something else really salty and briny, like olives maybe. Like really minced up olives. But I hope you like anchovies because they're kind of important. So that's mushed up pretty well. And I'm going to do an egg yolk. And I just realized we have this whisk. And I love this whisk because it's nice and flat. But I just realized that I'm pretty sure it was originally invented to be an egg separator. Or an egg separator whisk combo. But I'm going to try it right here on live YouTube. It's not even live YouTube. It's recorded YouTube. But you know what I mean. So that means I have to crack it with one hand while I'm holding this whisk. Oh, and do it in this way, not that way. I'm trying to get the yolk, not the white. Oh, that was a fail. Okay, so never mind. This thing is not an egg separator. It's just a normal whisk. So I'm going to have to get another egg. Oh, geez. This is starting to feel more like my drunk kitchen and less like how to make dinner. But that's okay. Okay, take 2. So I'm going to put an egg yolk into the bowl with the anchovy. Just separate it the traditional way by passing it back and forth from shell to shell. It's no problem. You don't need an egg separator. Who needs an egg separator? We don't need these tools that only do one thing. They're just a waste of space. So anchovies and egg yolk in the big bowl. We're just going to whisk that together. The anchovy will break up a bit more now with the egg yolk in. And some garlic. If anyone doesn't know this trick already, to smash it just a little bit makes the skin come off really easily. So people that have been watching cooking shows their whole lives, they know all these silly little tricks. But I come across a lot of people who have never seen this happen because they just don't watch cooking shows and they've never really learned. So this is why I'm here. My brother, because I watched so many cooking shows when I was little, my brother once came into the living room and I was watching something and he's like, I swear to God, if I have to watch one more person de-seed a vanilla pod, I'm going to lose it. Because he'd seen so many people do that because he's just been walking in on me watching cooking shows for like forever. So it's pretty funny. Okay, so garlic, 1 clove, Dijon to taste. About 1 teaspoon, I'd say, is probably about right. So you can call that another one of the ingredients. 100 mils of oil. Now this is where I want to get a little help from a tea towel because this thing will just spin around and drive me nuts. So make a little nest with a tea towel and prop the bowl in. Again, those who watch cooking shows a lot know that trick. So sorry if you've seen that a million times. Oh yeah, lemon first. I'm going to roll the lemon just to get some of the juice flowing. Break up some of those little cell walls. And I'm going to start with half and see how it goes. Shove it in there. I think the lemons have grown in size since they started inventing these squeezers because none of the lemons fit into my squeezers anymore. Squeeze that in. And then give that a little whisk. And then I'm going to put in 100 mils of vegetable oil. This is the part where you have to be a bit careful. Not super careful, but you do want to add it in a slow stream so that it emulsifies. Like little drips at first. I need to fix my bowl support here. You can really get it so it's like super solid sometimes. There we go. That's a good one. Good nest. So do you guys still buy salad dressing? I know that when it comes to things like ranch and Caesar, a lot of people are still buying it. Blue cheese dressing I still buy, I have to be honest. Like to dip some carrots and celery into, I love buying a jar of blue cheese dressing. But Caesar dressing, once you have this kind, the stuff in the store is just, it doesn't even taste like Caesar dressing. It just tastes like ranch with extra garlic. And this is just far superior, I think. So once a bunch of it's in and I can see that it's emulsifying and coming together, I can start adding it a bit faster. So nice, hey? Look at that. It is basically like mayonnaise. It is mayonnaise. It's just really flavorful mayonnaise. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil, extra virgin. Ooh, I'm so excited. This is dinner because we had just straight up pasta for lunch, so we have to have salad for dinner. Still counts as a salad even though it's pure oil and cheese and croutons, but you know, you've got the kale in there, so you're good. And then I'm just gonna do, this is another like free ingredient, so however much Parmesan cheese you really care to add. I'd say at least a tablespoon of grated, but probably more. It is gonna thicken it up a lot when you add the cheese. And then I'm also gonna put way more on top too. You can be sure of that. And pepper, black pepper, lots. Got this thing at a garage sale. It was like $3 or something. Super good deal. Looks like it's out of pepper though. Okay, that's it. Let's taste it. It's good. Salt is kind of an option if you feel like you need it. I actually feel like this needs a bit more lemon, so I am going to use the full 1 lemon. And screw this thing, it's too small. I'm just going to use my fork. There's another trick here, a little restaurant trick, to use your tongs to squeeze a lemon. This is fun. Haven't done this in a while. Kind of get some more leverage out of it that way. But if your tongs are really cheap, it might bend them. All right. That's it. So at this point, if you are really good with knowing how much dressing you need, you can just toss the salad right into this bowl. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to want all of this dressing for the amount of kale that we have, so I'm just going to pour it back into this jug and then add it to the kale instead of the other way around. Just because an overdressed salad would be kind of a bummer after putting all this whole 5 minutes of work into it, you know? So I'm gonna add, so this kale, I actually just bought it, washed it in cold water, let it sit in the cold water for a while because it gets a little wilted sometimes at the store. And if you have it sitting in cold water, it just kind of crisps it all up. And then I ripped the ribs out. The ribs are in a bag, we'll probably juice those. And I shredded it pretty finely. Some people salt kale when they make kale salads. I don't really think that's necessary to break it down. I just like to slice it pretty finely. And then I used this very high-tech, really expensive salad spinner to dry the leaves. It's just a tea towel. Okay. Now it's tossing time. So dressing in, I'm going to start with about half of that. So about half of that dressing went in. Just tossing her up. And then, you know, just add as much as you think you need. If you have just an annoying amount left over, then you have something to dip some veggies into tomorrow, which is kind of nice. And some croutons. So I've seen a lot of cool, like non-crouton croutons being used these days, like roasted chickpeas or roasted potatoes. This is some stale bread that I had in the freezer. I love to keep the ends of bread, like those dumb ends that, you know, you can't make toast out of because they don't fit in the toaster or whatever. I like to pile them all up into a bag together and then make croutons one day, or breadcrumbs. This one happens to be the end of a loaf that was a sourdough cranberry loaf. So I think that's going to be pretty good with the kale. And I don't think I need all of them either. Toss, toss. This is going to be the best dinner ever. I'm so excited. If you wanted to, you know, make it a full meal, whatever, throw a bit of chicken on there. But I'm pretty happy with this. So let's stick it on a plate. And go for it with some cheese. You could do the shavings too with like a vegetable peeler. This one works for me. Oh, and I forgot, total optional, but I love capers on Caesar salad, so let's throw a few of those on top. A few capers, just for another salty little bite. So that's it. That's Kale Caesar salad with homemade dressing, and I'm gonna give it a try here. It's really good. So this is one of those salads that actually is really nice if you let it kind of sit for a while, because kale is really tough, and if you let it sit for even 10 minutes, it'll start to break down a little bit and get really juicy, and the leaves will become a bit tender. The salt and the lemon will start working on them. But it's really good right now. So thanks for joining me. I hope you liked this episode. If you did, please subscribe, and feel free to comment with any other episodes you want me to do. And we'll see you next time.